What's up? This is Sean, Lonegevity with the New Old Heads podcast, episode 451, featuring DJ Spoolz. This week we talked about Pharrell's secular music takeover of the Vatican. We also talked about Snoop Dogg and the controversy around Buzz Lightyear, the two mothers. Why are you laughing? Don't be laughing at two mothers. That's not a cool thing to do. Is it okay to, criticize him? Or should we just let it go? Are people too sensitive? We talked about all that type of stuff. We also talked about Young Thug and Gunna and major label systems and how they all bought, and if this makes us look at Drake's lawsuit any differently. And to close things out, we reacted to a brand new video that came out from, I believe, D. Jones, Jada Kiss, and Beanie Siegel. I believe this is the first time we've heard the AI-assisted Beanie Siegel voice. So we listened to that and talked about that a little bit. So, yep, episode 451 of the New Old Heads. Become a Patreon member, patreon.com/newoldheads. Support us. We really would appreciate that, even if you become a free member. But yeah, let's get into it.
You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The brothers are in the building. Starting off with my man, Jay Moore. How are you, good sir?
Doing well, into a new month, new money, a new opportunity.
Man, get to that paper. I like that. Over in the captain's chair, my man, Lonegevity. Hey, buddy.
Howdy. Kicking and flying and flapping and stuff.
All right. Right on point. My man, DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Say that again. One more time.
Clarify, sorry.
Yeah.
DJ Jay Diff. How are you, sir? What's happening?
Salutations.
Thank you, my brother. Keep your friends on point.
Yeah, I'm also kicking and flapping in blueberry pancake.
My man, my man. And we don't have
Shout out to Jackson.
Is it too late for flapjacks?
Sorry. Make sure we get our last person here. This is not a guest. It's family. You know what I'm saying? It's family. My man DJ Spoolz has returned.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Feels good. I caught that. Those out there, they know. Yes. I'm good, bro.
What type of sales and marketing summit did Jay Moore sound like he just came from with that answer?
He probably was speaking at the
Catalina wine mixer.
Either that or
production will be better tomorrow. And something like that is what you said.
Vintage, like a hockey jersey symposium or something like that.
Symposium. I wish I could find something like that. Yeah. I got some trades I could make.
Yeah, it was a very corporate answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay will be the person that will be, hosting the event, but also doing betting on the events as well. So he'd be dual at the symposium. That's the only thing I can think of.
He's a corporate man.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the champ is in the building too. The champ is here. My man Gobo, fresh off trees.
Yeah, man.
Smoked the competition. He don't even talk to me the same now, but it's cool. He earned that.
He eats blueberry pancakes for dessert.
And they're delivered to his apartment. That's crazy.
On that ass. So, yeah, get like him.
Is this divine intervention? Pharrell's bringing hip-hop to the holy city. Now, Pharrell Williams will co-direct a historic live concert in the Vatican City's St. Peter's Square featuring a lineup of global artists. This is scheduled for September 13th, 2025, and the event titled Grace for the World is being organized to conclude the third world meeting of human fraternity and celebrate the 2025th Jubilee year. Now, I've never heard of a concert being held here. This obviously is different. Does bringing secular music to a sacred space like St. Peter's, obviously, does that enhance or diminish the experience for both audiences? Because this is can be a little touchy here. What do you guys think about this?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No,
okay.
No. I mean, if you're going to keep it religious and there are places that are supposed to be religious, I don't want to hear happy or fronting or whatever. I'm not saying those songs are going to be done, but it is Pharrell. I have no use for whatever this is supposed to be. I'm sorry.
Artists that are going to perform. I don't know if he's going to perform his records, but I know he's directing, like he's executive producing this. John Legend was on the list. I don't know if Lone has an article up, but there's going to be a list of people that are going to be performing. I think the clips are coming too.
I mean, I don't.
About that.
Once again, I'm saying I don't like it. That'd be like if you said, "Oh, to me, if you're decide, well, this church has good acoustics. Let's go ahead and have, the Clips come here." And I wouldn't want.
She want a Mike Tyson blow to the face.
I don't want.
He's stupid. That's
in church.
Yeah,
in church.
I believe the secular world, and I understand that many of these people have roots in perhaps the church as far as their some of their first initial musical experiences, so it means something to them. But I don't have any use for this. I mean, if there's some charity involved, and maybe it's going to help some people. But if you want to help some people, start selling some of that stuff that's in the Vatican that they stole.
Say that.
Ooh.
Jump in, Spoolz. What you think? Like,
Who all's performing?
So it says the production will also feature a large-scale aerial drone and light display by Nova Sky Stories. The visuals inspired by the Sistine Chapel. The show aims to blend music, storytelling, and visual art into a single shared experience. And then that does have some names here, such as, let me scroll up a little bit. John Legend, Carol G, Clips, Teddy Swims, Jelly Roll, Angelique Kidjo, I'm not sure, and a 250-person international choir. Williams will be joined on stage by the Voices of Fire Gospel Choir.
Okay.
Through the fire.
I mean, it's super
What you think,
interesting. I think it's interesting. I kind of understand, like, half of me feels the same way Jay Moore does, like, maybe in a different, like, can we just leave some alone? Like, just leave some places and some things alone. And I'm not, like, Catholic, but, I respect it like any other faith. And I guess if that's what the Vatican wants to do, that's fine. It's, their or whatever. But that lineup sounds cool. I mean, it's not like I don't see anything like, aside from maybe the Clips, but hopefully they seem classy. You know what I mean? Like, so hopefully it won't be.
But didn't Malice have like a non-secular run for a while?
He did. When it was no Malice,
No
yeah.
Malice.
Yep.
Let the dead bury the dead. Yes.
So part of me is just like, can we just not, just leave certain stuff alone? And by that, I just mean like, I wouldn't want a rock and roll concert at the Vatican. You know what I mean? Like, just leave it alone. It's old.
Let's rock the Vatican.
Yeah. Like, come on, man, just leave it alone. But another part of me is like, it's really cool for just music and hip hop in general. I mean, that's an interesting. I don't know if anybody's ever done anything like that. Really, I could be wrong though. So people correct me if something like this has happened. But I don't know. Could be neat. So, but I don't really have super strong opinion.
Jay Diff, what you think, bro?
It's kind of along the line for me too. You know how you're supposed to keep the church and political and saying affiliation separate. I feel the same way as far as music is concerned. I don't want to go to a concert at a church.
No,
I really don't.
Fair. It's not a church based. It's not
Where they're gonna be is
religious
not technically, but I see.
I mean, it's not. But
I see where you're
at
going.
the end of the day, it's supposed to be a holy area.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Whatever you believe in.
I refuse to get married in a church, so there's that.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
he told y'all.
I didn't get married in the church either.
I didn't either.
But yeah, I feel like certain things should be separate. Whether it be music, politics, religion. I mean, there's so many religions and everything like that. But I don't know how I feel about seeing the Clips performing snow raps at the Vatican.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, and this ain't no shade toward the Catholic Church or anything, but they're all the way together. But I don't think they should add more to it. You know what I'm saying? That I know it's probably a good payday for them.
the Vatican or the Clips.
The Vatican, well, everybody included, I'm sure.
I would say
But
everybody.
they don't need
I
the money.
just don't. Nah, they don't really need it that bad. I feel like it's kind of sacrilegious.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, because it's like, are they? Because once you have this sort of thing happen, is there going to be, sponsorship? And you're going to have all. It's like
That's where we're headed, dude.
it's like, hey, the King of Kings brought to you by the King of Beers,
It's gonna be
Budweiser.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sort of thing that.
It's gonna be a Pepsi logo on the side of the Vatican.
Yeah,
or
no,
like Sistine Chapel one day. Like
No,
I
it
just,
is.
Yeah.
I won't go down that whole.
Just
whole whatever, man, but-
in today's world, Spoolz, just leave the door open. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Nothing is
Nothing's
sacred.
Yeah.
And it's been heading in that direction. I mean, things were kind of that way when we were young, so it's not like it's new. And these kids, and no, I mean, everything's kind of gradual. Like it's come here, and we were kind of part of it too, to a degree. But Again, also though, on the flip side, trying to be, on the positive side, that could be really cool for, I don't know, man, people who might not be familiar with, hip hop or, R&B or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Maybe. But then again, it's also 2025 and
Like, how are you not familiar?
Exactly. So I don't know.
If those people are that religious, then some of these artists they don't need to be familiar with. Honestly,
You make a point.
yeah.
So, Lon, what you think about what we discussed so far? Any thoughts, or did we cover everything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care.
I love what he says. I love when
I
he
mean,
says that.
like-
I love
Good
when
old
he says
Sean,
that.
man.
I mean, look,
I
I'm
love
not,
when he says that.
Well, I
I
mean,
love
he and I share a similar temperament as far as that kind of. He expresses it so much better than
I
I
love
do.
when he
It's
says
great. Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not religious, so it's not really my place to have an opinion on whether this is a good look for the Vatican or not. I do think there is something to be said about it being kind of like this prestigious type of thing that's looked upon by the entire world, right? And then, but then at the other hand of it, are we saying that like because Pharrell is putting this type of show together and because it's kind of popular music and it's modern music, that are we saying that popularized black music is putting a stain on the Vatican?
Yeah, that's what I
you-
don't want. That's what
You can see.
Nah,
I
I'm
could-
not
I could
seeing it. I'm not seeing it like that because
Is that how it's
regardless-
going to be viewed,
I
though?
don't-
That's my
I
question.
mean,
That's the question.
it depends on who's having that conversation. I don't want to go see the Clips rap at a Baptist church.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's what
honestly,
I was getting at too.
I
Yeah.
don't really want to see. I want to see them at an arena or something like that. I don't want to see them in a religious setting. It just sounds like
Sounds like a
regardless
setup.
if you believe in God or not, it just sounds like a smack in the face
Mhm.
to. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's weird to me.
I think Lone is onto something about how the perception, how it could grow legs and how it could be based off once the performance starts. And then everybody gets to start writing and doing their spin and taking takes. Everybody has a take now. It'll be hundreds, thousands of takes on this.
Man,
So
it's
many
one of them
things.
things.
I could see the one that Lone is talking about.
I can
100%.
see it, but it's one of those things, and I'm gonna go to the whole like Aunt Jemima and this new Crackle Barrel thing where people that are mad about this, it doesn't even really affect them. It's like they're fake mad because they feel like they should be mad about it.
Mhm.
Nobody cared about her being on that bottle. Nobody really
Sure.
cared about the dude sitting by the barrel at Crackle Barrel. I mean, if you want to eat there, eat there. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well,
It's not-
Donald
it's-
Trump had an opinion on it.
Well, I mean, he
yeah.
has an opinion about a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
True.
But it's one of those things. I feel like the wrong people would view it like that.
Sure.
You know what I'm
And I
saying?
think the wrong people are going to view it like that anyways.
That's where
right?
I'm at.
So,
That's where I'm at.
but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of with you guys. It just feels unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just,
I mean, maybe there's some positives that's going to come out of it. Cool.
I
That's,
mean, are- the Catholics trying to recruit. Is that what's going on?
You actually kind of
Maybe.
you kind of actually beat me to. Well, that leads into the second question I was going to pose, and that is, what message does the collaboration send to the world? And this is particularly, we're going to focus in on younger generations. We speak about the intersection of faith and popular culture for the younger generation.
So, I will say this: the church is a place where you're supposed to come as you are, right?
For sure.
So, in that sense, it makes sense. But you don't come as you are and do as you did in that space. Regardless of if younger people are with it or not, I don't think this is going to be the thing that makes them find religion just because Pharrell and the Clips are performing at the Vatican.
Well, let me just play white devil's advocate here.
Oh, okay.
If we know hip hop's global reach, and we know the impact it has on people, can recite rap songs who can't even speak English. What if, I mean, once again, this is my conspiracy brain. What if this concert and the images that are disseminated through the entire world are used as some sort of marketing tool, if you will, for missionary work, going into black and brown places like have been done over the past 500 to 600 years to try to convert people to a Eurocentric version of religion?
Jehovah's Witnesses have been doing that forever.
Well,
A lot of
But
They
religions
didn't
have
have to
been.
throw a concert.
yeah. And so
A lot of them have
I'm
been.
saying, what if this is just the rebrand of that sort of thing? And with that comes a level of advocating for white supremacy through black music and the way that, hey, this, I mean, like I said, I could be taking it too far. Maybe this is just going to be a happy little concert near the Vatican, but this is where my brain goes when I see things like this.
It's about to turn it into a movie.
Vatican's history is interesting.
Yeah, that's
say
the
the
way.
least.
That's
Yeah.
maybe because when you read and you actually do deep dives on things, that's where the cynicism can come from, and that's where it's coming from on my end.
Yep, I totally understand that, man. I think it most likely is just a tool, or one of the reasons it's being done is like, look at how hip and cool the Catholic Church is. You know, of course it is. Like,
Sure.
Catholic Church has recruited heavily over the last 500 to 600 years.
Mhm.
You know, so everything's done just to get, you know, this level, most attention you can possibly get, man.
Mhm.
You know,
Maybe
or
these people are just trying to get
they want
paid.
us people talking about.
Yeah.
Either they're trying to get paid or it's just a, you know what I'm saying, it's a fly idea to be able to perform at the Vatican. Say you performed at the Vatican. I know somebody that's going to be mad about it is probably Kanye.
I'm only performing at the Vatican if I learn how to do like, you know, opera or something.
But
I
like,
need
to the
I hope it
to the point earlier that, like, you know, if this show was being thrown at one of the biggest mosques in the world or something, that would be
It'd be
weird.
the
I'd feel the same
way.
It would be
Cool,
just as
man.
weird.
Or if
100%.
it was
Yeah.
at a Buddhist, temple or
Buddhist
somewhere,
temple,
you know,
yeah.
anywhere. It's just
It's Burning
know,
Man
man.
in the Buddhist temple.
Yeah, just insert religious
Venue.
venue, and I'm cool on going to a concert there that other than like if you're listening to like or into church and gospel
Right.
hymns, things of that nature.
Right.
But other than that, I feel like there's no reason to go to church or the Vatican to see a concert. There's even comedians that do clean comedy and they go on like church tours because their comedy is centered around church comedy. That's a little different than walking into a church.
it's completely
and-
different. Yeah.
And you have a whole new set of ideas that you're
Yeah.
bringing inside of this church. It's damn near scary.
But again, the message here is unity and grace.
Well, it sounds good on the surface.
That's a great
But
marketing campaign.
That's what I'm
Everything's
talking
fucking
about.
business, dude. So you know what I mean? Everything's business.
Sounds great on the
all the
surface,
time.
but we also know what comes from these events after they've happened.
There's a lot of other structures and things in Rome where you could perform at.
Perform at the Coliseum or
Exactly.
outside of the Coliseum.
Do
That'd
something like that.
That'd
That
be
would
crazy
cool.
backdrop.
That would be dope because there's no, ties, if you will.
Yeah. All in all, even with all this being said, I really do not care.
We know.
We know.
Like-
Yeah, we know.
Like they
Yeah.
can do it.
Loans like they can.
Sean is like, I will not be watching.
loan
That's
like they
great,
can
dude.
perform in my basement. I don't care.
No, they can't.
I don't care.
No,
No, they can't do that either.
Shit, they can perform in mine.
I want
That's
you to
a good
get paid
payday.
though. Yeah, I want you to get paid.
I'm cool, man. I don't need a praise, spread, unity, and grace
I ain't saying it was
concert
the
in my
I
basement,
didn't
man.
say it was the praise show,
Hey.
Long.
That's what it is.
I mean,
I like.
but you can have some people down and get you some money.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
But the Clips
Come
want
on
to do
in.
Lord Willing in the basement. That'd be
Yeah.
different.
It's not the Clips though. It's grace and unity.
just
Voices
wanna-
of fire.
He just want to say grace and unity. He just want to say that.
Of human fraternity.
All right, man.
They'll be in here. My God is an awesome
I
guy.
don't think they're gonna be saying that. I don't think they're gonna
Have
be
their
saying
hands
that.
to the air.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't think they're gonna be I don't think that's gonna be this.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member. All details on newoldheads.com.
Snoop versus Disney, a family film debate, right? So Snoop Dogg has responded to the backlash generated over his comments about a same-sex scene in the Disney film Lightyear. We're going to listen to his original comments, and I'll read what he posed as his quote-unquote, I guess, I don't want to say, apology that people are saying might be fake.
I took my grandson to see Buzz Light.
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
Oh, the new Buzz.
So we watching it, and man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of that I don't have an answer for. It threw me for a loop. I'm like, what part of the movie was this? These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like,
That part.
they're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Anyways.
Since then, he has said, I was just caught off guard and had no answer for my grandsons. All of my gay friends know what's up, and they've been calling me with love, he continued. My bad for not knowing the answers for a 6-year-old. Teach me how to learn. I'm not perfect. This is what was posted on his Instagram page. Like I said, speculations about the, validity of it, whatever. But let's go ahead and move on. So, was the backlash against Snoop, is this justified, or was it an overreaction in today's sensitive social media climate? Your thoughts. Jay Moore, I'll come to you first.
I think it was an overreaction. I mean, Snoop was having a casual conversation here. I don't know why we expect these, even when we talk about Snoop in a political space, why we expect political and certain kind of answers from Snoop. Do I think as parents and maybe grandparents at this point, and like I said, me not being a parent, but having people I care for in the, I just say alphabet community, and that's not to marginalize anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to miss a number or a letter or a symbol. Maybe you should kind of educate yourself and make sure you have something for your grandkids, or just say, hey, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But at the same time, I agree with Snoop. Is like, hey, man, I was caught off guard by this. I'm taking my kids to see a cartoon. And, and then my grandson, I think he said, was asking me about 2 women having a baby. I can see where you would be, maybe as a parent, be caught off guard by that. I'm conflicted because I understand where Snoop is coming from, but I also want to be sensitive to my friends who are in the community and see where, like, okay, they want their representation too. But honestly, if I had kids and I wanted to take them to, what is considered a family friendly movie, because I can't take them to see all the gangsta I want to see. I just want to go see that movie. I don't want any kind of political messages or, whatever the people in Hollywood think that we in middle America need to be better about. And I understand, like, because a lot of the cartoons are about inclusiveness, and they think there are people who think that's political, because teaching about acceptance and being cool to your neighbor, like, oh, that's woke, because of course they've taken woke and taken it to somewhere else to try to make it seem wrong, and if Snoop apologizes and he says these things, if you don't want to accept his apology, that's on you. And if you just want to say, oh, he only did this because of this, and you don't want to accept an apology because you're professionally mad, which I think a lot of these folks are, then that's your problem. If he came to you with a certain level of love and say, hey, man, I was caught off guard, but my people know me, then it was, look, I'll say it just like this. When we talked about Dave Chappelle, when he had his special, and there was a whole thing with, I thought I had said some things in that episode that could have been deemed as insensitive to the trans community. And I hated to be like, let me call my trans friend and talk to him about it, but I was like, hey, this is what I said in advance of even the episode coming out. What do you think? Because I don't want to seem insensitive. But at the same time, like, so there's levels of this. We're all learning in real time a lot of times, because, you just got to, if you have a certain age, and remember, Snoop is in his 50s.
Yeah,
if you have a certain age, there was a time, especially when you're talking about hip hop, where, we was really hard on the gays. And to be more sensitive about it, like now it makes me really kind of uncomfortable when I hear the use of, somebody drop a maggot in a song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that wasn't even necessary. Like, I was listening to It's Yours by Wu-Tang Clan, and there's a lyric by the RZA, and it's just real pronounced, and I was like, damn, we didn't even need to do that. But if people are willing to learn and apologize, accept their apologies and move on, stop being professionally mad because you have nothing else to do. You know, and the thing is, this is a crazy thing. We can't cancel Snoop. Clearly, Snoop has done a lot of stuff in his career that should have been cancelable.
It's Teflon.
But, you know, if anything, if Snoop apologizes, just go and accept the apology and move on.
No,
You said we shouldn't accept his apology?
No, he performed for Trump last year, right?
Oh, well, that's different. Like I said,
no, it's not.
I say that.
No, it's not. It's not. I think it's two different sides of the marginalization coin.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's go there.
Where do I even begin? I completely disagree with what you're saying.
Okay.
I think all this is 100% justified. What happens in this is in the same sense, is the same thing that we are critical about white people that are insensitive about racial relations towards black people and other things as well. And in a lot of times what happens is, regardless of if we want to admit it or not, a lot of white people are just purely ignorant. And they live in their ignorance. Whether or not they should be ignorant or not is just kind of what it is a lot of times. There is outright hatred in the same way there's outright hatred for gay people and trans people and stuff like that. And then there's people such as Snoop who just exist in a space where he has, at least to some degree, an innate distaste or discomfort around gay people and gay things. When what Hollywood is doing here, or whoever is putting this to the game, is they're trying to make this normal. Gay people exist, and they exist in this space.
They exist in your family. Everybody got at least a gay cousin.
Sure.
Shout to Chris Rock.
But I think it's
he's not gay. That's something he said.
I guess I'm kind of all over the place, but what I'm really trying to say is that the whole point of this is that they want to make this normalized. Mm-hmm. We want to treat people that are gay, who are trans, who are or whatever, just as normal people.
Right.
And it should be a normal thing for somebody to be able to see something like this, and then for somebody to say, well, this is just, you know, these two people are together and they love each other and they had a baby. The end. You know, like, it shouldn't have to be this complicated thing about, well, I don't understand how to explain this to, like, why is it hard? I just don't understand. I get it on the surface level of us. This is kind of newish in general, but this is something that we need to be able to navigate as grown-ups that have kids around us. And if we want to continually marginalize people, then we're going to react how Snoop did. That's the way that I look at it.
Do you think it's because we're all speaking as adults?
Sure.
Do you think when we're talking about things that we talk to, 6-year-olds, there's a lot of things we don't talk to 6-year-olds about.
True.
You know, but at the same time, what is the cutoff age?
But I'll stop you there though. Are you okay with, or is it okay if a man and a woman are pregnant together in this? Is it so if the child is coming up and saying, "Oh, what's going on here? She's pregnant."
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is that okay? But if two women are not together, then it's like some sort of weird taboo subject to where, like, I don't know how to explain that two women are together. Because what it's doing is it's marginalizing gay people. It's just what it's doing.
I think we'll get lost. Go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the issue at hand is, and honestly, I don't think that Snoop meant to be malicious when he was saying that, because
I agree.
Even the way it came across wasn't necessarily as like, I don't want to, it's just like, I don't know how to.
Sure.
So he's actually acknowledging his fault. He doesn't know how to explain this to his grandchildren. Honestly, don't feel like you should have to explain any kind of sexual orientation to kids of a certain age. I just think it's inappropriate. I think kids should grow up and be kids. That's all they should focus on, is being kids. I don't think it should matter if you're talking about a woman and a man together, a man and a man, a woman and a woman. I don't think these are conversations that you need to have with little kids. Mm-hmm. Now, when it presents itself, if you decide that you want to have that conversation, you have to be kind of learned about how to explain it to them.
Sure.
In that particular fashion, versus just being like, well, I don't know what to say. And I'm not faulting him for not knowing what to say, because you can be in that situation. Having kids is a learning experience in itself. Granted, he already has kids. He has grandkids now, but he didn't have to go through that with his kids because of how things have kind of evolved. And it also depends on how one was brought up, grown up, their beliefs, things of that nature.
That's what I was going to say.
All of that stuff kind of plays a factor, but you still have to be sensitive to others in the grand scheme of things. I mean, this is Snoop is a world star at this point. He doesn't have all the answers as far as that's concerned, like he said, but he knows how to be a celebrity. That's what he knows how to do.
I'll say this because I kind of got off track a little bit. I'll say people are allowed to mess up, and people are allowed to do that.
100%.
And I think Snoop was the reason that I have an issue with what Snoop said wasn't necessarily the fact that he it was like in the nature of kind of how he said his original statement, and sure, he apologized after the fact, but I think he deserves grace like anybody else does for these type of situations. But I just the original statement that he said was the thing that I kind of had a problem with, because it's like we have a tendency to look at the world from a particular view. All of us being heterosexual people, we look at the view man and a woman. That's the standard, right? And when you look at everything from that particular standard, that means that there is another group of people that don't fall into that are automatically marginalized. And they're just looking for awareness around like, we exist, we're here, we're normal, right? And so it's always an uphill battle, and no matter what that is. And so that's why I think it's okay and it's justified for people to call him out on this, to say, hey, like, we just want to we just want to exist. We don't want to have to, I don't know, we don't want to have to constantly have to
justify
our existence.
Yeah, no, I get that.
In front of people. And when you're somebody like Snoop, which in this statement, he kind of made fun of it at the same time. And so I think when you do that and you have some ignorance behind it, I think it's perfectly valid, and I think it's perfectly justified for people to call him on it. And then however he wants to respond to it is however he responds to it. And then to your guys' point, however they respond to that is however they respond to that. And that's all that you can do. But I think it's important to be able to call people on stuff on their own ignorance, if you will.
No, I think people get. I think my thing is what I search for whenever I have this conversation is a level of balance, because marginalized to me can go both ways. And Terry made a good point when he mentioned about how certain people are raised in your household, and that's going to be embedded. That you can't fight what you were raised in.
It's a little different. I actually wanted to kind of expound on that a little bit, because it's not necessarily that, because you can be raised in a house that teaches hate and you don't know anything but hate. So it's bigger than that. It's just as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like sexual conversations should not happen with kids of certain age. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's just
speaking of, especially as the parent in the room.
Yes, it's not appropriate. You know what I'm saying? So there are some things that I don't agree with, like as far as when people say that my 4-year-old is this way, so we're going to do this to make. I don't necessarily agree with that, because they're not advanced. Their mind has not developed enough in order to make that decision. You're making that decision for this child.
So my rebuttal to that would be, in this particular instance, based upon our own, I don't even want to call it indoctrination. Let's just say like how we were raised and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 6-year-old kid, and like I said, in this movie or whatever, if it's a man and a woman together, do you still bat your eyes if she's pregnant in the same type of way if it's two women?
I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't bat my eyes. That's mommy and daddy.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But if there's a situation to where like, so why is there mommy and mommy? Then, I mean, there's a simple way that I can explain that, and the other conversation can happen later. I'm not about to go into depth with a 6-year-old about this type of situation. I can explain it intelligently so that she can understand what's going on. I mean, I remember being a kid noticing people that were different than me, but it didn't bother me. So I don't want to sway a child any which way, because I wasn't swayed any which way. I was pretty much soaking up things, and I noticed that, okay, such and such is different than me. Okay. Oh, well, we're going out to the playground. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like this big ordeal to where let's pinpoint on this. Now, I can understand how some people think that this is being driven home because it's new to them as well.
Sure.
So you're picking up on it all the time. I mean, it's the same way as it's kind of similar to rating a movie or a show that only certain, or you're supposed to be at a certain age or a certain maturity level in order to see this. I can see that being something that they implement if something is going on. If a parent decides they don't want this child to see this particular information.
Sure, I think that would be okay.
They're informed about it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But in the same token, I can understand both sides of why one parent would be like, well, I don't want to have to explain this. And then on the other token, somebody that has two moms, well, they should explain it.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be some kind of balance or some kind of come together on that, because there's no just direct answer as far as what's right and wrong.
And that's what I was trying to allude. That's what I was trying to allude to is there's two sides that should be respected. Is the way I feel. I shouldn't be looked at as a certain way because I choose to raise my children a certain way, just like you should. But I think the heads start to clash when people start to say, well, you're wrong, and then you're wrong.
I mean, I would probably disagree with you wholeheartedly, just because one way is essentially training marginalization and the other one way is not.
How?
What do you mean?
Like, break it down. Like, why is one different from the other?
Well, one say is like, hey, this is abnormal and I don't want to explain it to you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
you're saying this is the norm. The normal is a man and a woman, and that's the way that it should be, period. And anything other than that is weird. But what if, I don't want to have to talk about it.
But what if I say, this is what the man and the woman is what I choose to have in my household. This is how I was raised, but I have no problem with what said person does in their life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not casting aspersions on it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying what's in my household is what I choose to do. You choose to do what you want to do, and everybody can be happy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That's cool. I mean, it's a little bit homophobic, but it's what
I don't think it's homophobic.
But it is. I mean, like, people put a lot of hindrance on that word, but it is a little bit. But I think you can live however you want to live.
There you go.
But at the same time, like, what you're kind of speaking on is tolerance in a way, and like, I think there's this inherent nature of, well, this is the way that I want to view this, but this is also the patriarchy. This is also the way that the world consists of. And so you inherently, you have this marginalized group that exists that has to also constantly fight against that. Right?
I agree with that from the standpoint if you're adding extra layers onto how you feel about a certain side. I feel you on that part. I'm just on the ground level.
Right.
This is this. I respect this, and it's cool. I don't have any other feelings other than I'm going to raise my children this way. You do yours, and everybody's happy.
And I think that's fine, but I think where it becomes a little bit weird, again, on this particular issue, and I'm just going to say this and shut up, but like, on this particular issue is that the norm is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you also are a part of the norm, you probably don't see the blind spots that you're looking at to where you're like, well, these other people are just,
trying to live.
They're trying to live. We're in a place where like our administration is like literally trying to take these rights away from people that are gay and that are trans and all this stuff. And so people that get upset at that particular thing fuels the fire on the opposite end, regardless,
on the other side,
regardless of if you don't really care either way. So it's like you're kind of choosing a side without choosing a side. And that's what it kind of feels like. And I relate this in a similar but not direct one-of-one relation to kind of how like all marginalization kind of occurs in even race relations and stuff of that nature too. I mean, it's not a one-on-one, but it's similar.
We haven't heard, but yeah, hold on. We haven't heard from Spoolz.
I mean, I think you.
Sorry,
no,
jump in, bro.
You guys summed it all up pretty well. Why did we need to know this about Snoop Dogg? There's a question that we
because there's always
asked.
a microphone in front of his face,
or but he also feeds into it himself too. You don't have to do that.
He said it on the podcast, right?
Yep. So that's where I come from sometimes. It's just like, I don't need to know.
Yeah.
I don't personally care what Snoop Dogg thinks about anything.
Sure.
Really, at the end of the day, I liked his music when I was younger, and he's a superstar, man. Like, good for him. That's great. A lot of the things you guys said about, tolerance and, what goes on in my home versus someone else's home and things like that. Like, I get it. One of my mom's close friends when I was growing up was a gay man.
Mm-hmm.
So at a somewhat younger age, like I was, explained what homosexuality was, So for me, like personally, when I think someone brought up earlier, like there are still people out there that are like, how am I supposed to explain this? And I don't think that's what Snoop was saying. I think Snoop was like, I wasn't ready for this, and I'm not ready to have this conversation right now with him during this film, right? But
Maybe
people have been saying that maybe. But people have been saying stuff like so for 10 years. You know what I mean? For years and years. So in 10 years you haven't figured out how to tell your child what being gay is.
Sure.
I looked up on my phone while you guys were talking, just general statistics, and just Google a quick Google. 2% of the U.S. population is gay. 1.4% is lesbian. 5.2% identify as bisexual, and 1.3% identify as transgender. Those are relatively small numbers when it comes to the greater whole. Still a lot of people. And I'm certainly not saying because they're a smaller group of people, you shouldn't respect them and they shouldn't have rights, because that's, not at all what I'm saying. But all that said, like I don't understand not being able to at some point just tell people they're different. And there's a lot of different ways people are different in the world. You know what I mean? It just, for me, it's tough to...
Feels like a very easy conversation to me, but maybe that's just from the outside looking in.
I didn't grow up in an ultra religious household, right?
That makes a difference.
I know people that did that struggle with this stuff.
Sure.
So I don't have any. I don't need to know that about. I don't care what Snoop thinks about this. I don't care what a lot of people think about a lot of things. I don't like that we're in an age where, and people feed in. It's not just like, to Jay's. I know you weren't saying this, that he had a mic in his face. Well, he welcomes that mic in his face.
Yeah, I mean, he gets paid for it.
A lot of people do. So
he does.
Just like I said last time I was here, when I used to do this show regularly, people said stuff about me that I didn't care for. Oh well, I decided to get in front of this and be put out on the internet. So I don't know. As far as Snoop's growth as a human and like all this, if he does, great, and if he doesn't, that's fine. I hope he does, and I don't think he didn't sound homophobic to me.
Nah.
At the end of the day,
I think they're. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. But no, I'm always have been pro tolerance and understanding, different people and why they're different and respecting that, and it's not that hard for me personally. So it's hard for me to relate.
So, I don't know. I think that well, I will say this: at least he attempted to make an apology for this instead of tap dancing around the fact that he was out there kicking it with white supremacists during the inauguration.
It's a weird time right now, man. Did you ever think that we would, Snoop Dogg performing, doing like for Donald Trump, whatever? It's just an interesting time in the world right now, especially in the United States of America, man. And it's scary in some ways that we could talk, and it's, in other ways, it's just kind of like sitting back and watch. Like I'm not on social media. I've made that choice for years now, not to be on that. I still read the news every day, and especially in Indy. Terry, you're one of the people, years ago that mentioned, I know your local politics, local things that are going on. That's, the better way to, kind of, I've
national politics will drive you crazy.
It will, man. It's good to kind of know. So I read about this and I just didn't click.
No, I didn't either. Honestly.
You know what I mean?
I didn't either.
Because I knew the discourse was going to be toxic. It was going to be.
Hope it all goes well.
It was going to be, I knew that they were going to pull up, because I remember a long time ago, Snoop was on this show called The L Word. I think it was on Showtime or something. This is like 20 years ago. I knew that was going to come up, and, there's going to be somebody that runs down some of Snoop's what could be considered sort of lyrics that are gay leaning.
You beat me to me to the punch.
Yeah,
you beat me to the punch.
I knew all that was coming, but I also know that we have such short attention spans in this country that it was going to pass over. Snoop was going to be fine, and either people like I said, at least he apologized, because like I said, I'm still waiting on him to say, you know what, I was wrong, even though the check was good. for, he went on the Breakfast Club and still tried to justify all that tap dancing he did.
So here's my question. This is what I was trying to get to on the second half, on the back end. Anybody else got anything else? No, I ain't mad.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything to say on the first part, or no? We good?
I'm just gonna say, like, I still do think that it's justified, and I think as long as it's done in a tasteful way, I think these conversations are important. So regardless of if we have subtle differences, I feel like us even having this conversation out loud is important to other people potentially looking at this from a particular view that maybe,
No, at the end of the day, as long as it's led with love and not hate, is where you find the balance. Because love isn't trying to demonize somebody or point the finger and wag your finger at them. It's trying to find a common ground regardless of my ideal of what's going on versus somebody else's. And obviously we can't have that conversation with somebody from that community right now, but we're kind of speaking on behalf
But I'll also say, like, in the same way that not all, like, we're not all monoliths, like not every gay person is a monolith. Like, just because you talk to one trans or gay person doesn't mean they feel the same way as the next person. You know what I mean?
I talked, like, with the whole Dave Chappelle, I talked to one trans person and they thought it was funny, but I could probably talk to 10 more and they say that this is not cool.
So,
and they can say that they didn't think it was a big deal too, and then somebody else might. And it is kind of goes back to the conversation of sometimes we take on the weight of a situation that's going on because we're understanding the way that we're understanding it versus understanding that somebody else that's more, versed in that can understand it. So,
but I mean, this type of stuff though, like, it happens all the time. Like, my wife has a lot of gay friends, like a lot of her best friends, or bisexual or whatever. And she was at work recently and there was a comment made by her boss that was weird. It was like, it was very, she didn't think she did anything wrong. She thought she was just joking and saying something, but, like, she said it in front of a gay man and my wife, who has friends like that. And it's like highly offended by it stuff, and it's like those type of conversations and the lack of awareness sometimes bleed into other parts of the world. And that's, it's not really, this isn't really about Snoop, in my opinion.
It's deeper than Snoop.
Snoop says some and then we can talk about what he said, and then he apologized. And that's it. We can either accept the apology and move on. But it's like, to me, it bleeds.
What do you all think about?
Is it funny at all that people apologize for stuff like that today, but don't go back and apologize for saying the F word a million times in their songs?
That's what I'm trying to get to.
That's fair too.
And I'm not. That's not a judgment. I'm just saying it's interesting.
I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we apologizing?
Sure.
Yo, can I pose this question real quick? And then we can continue. The second question is, did Gunna outsell The Weeknd because of bots? Young Thug says yes. So, in January 2022, Gunna's album DS Forever seemingly outsold The Weeknd's Dawn FM. Now, a leaked conversation has recently surfaced, and it's a recording that allegedly features Young Thug claiming
so many conversations.
Man, that he spent 50 G's on artificial streams to boost Gunna's numbers. Along in that conversation, it continued, and further recordings suggested that similar tactics were used and considered for Gunna's later album, Business is Business, to ensure that he got number one spot. So, does this alleged manipulation undermine the integrity of the charts and the music industry as a whole? Now, how do you guys feel about the fact that he spent 50 G's to get someone a number one album?
This has been happening, period. I'm not he's not the only one that said it. I mean, it's just hot now because he said it on a jail call, and there's multiple phone calls that have been leaked during this, past couple of weeks between him and talking to people. But this is something that has been going on. Russ has said it before. Even 6ix9ine has said it.
Can I play a video real quick?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't even know you had a video.
No, I didn't. I didn't either. I saw something that's very related to this recently from Bootleg Kev. Shouts to Bootleg Kev.
Yeah.
That may also adjust our thoughts a little bit. So, Jack, go ahead and switch over to
every single artist that has ever put out a record through a major record label. It doesn't have to be a rapper. It could be a rock band.
Right.
All of them every artist, there is an amount of botted shit. Mm-hmm. What happens is these fucking labels have budgets that they work into their marketing budget. And I mean, listen, I don't want to say their name.
Say it, we'll beep it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I know this for a fact because I'm very close with this guy's team and very close with the person who was running the botting for him and his team.
Oh, okay.
So when you're an artist that's that big and your music comes out, you could really kind of do any amount of numbers and it's never going to get questioned.
You have the clout that it could be real. You're popular enough that it could be this high.
So they forced certain records to go like break records, and they knew how much it would cost for X amount of streams.
I don't know why anybody is ever surprised. It's like people wind up getting their panties in a bunch because it'll be something that has to do with things that have nothing to do with the record industry. You know, people will say, "Oh, Gunna is a snitch." There's a whole bunch of foolishness going on in the Atlanta streets, whatever. And so, like, that's why this is a subject now. You know, the thing is, okay, they pay for that first week of streams. Sometimes, and that's why sometimes you see these ridiculous 70% drop-offs in whatever the album sale is. Now, it's kind of like when we talk about why chart positions just don't matter anymore. Because a song could come out, it goes to be the number 5 song in the country the first week it's out, and then all of a sudden it's number 25, then it's number 52, then it's, number 79, then it's off the top 100 in 4 weeks because the bots have stopped showing up, and the people who are only there to listen to it maybe for some sort of controversy or to, so they could have an opinion on it. I mean, like, shout out to Cardi B. I know she's going through it and whatever, but I remember she put out a song
and it the hell out that.
Jumped right up in the top 10, and it's like, oh, Cardi B's back. No, she isn't, because the song fell off. It was out of the top 100 in a month. Because
this is just the way of the record label, the record game as a whole. This is the way. What Pimp C said, pimping ain't dead, it just moved to the web. The music business has moved to the web. It's not a situation to where you're doing a payola necessarily at a radio station anymore. You're paying for the streams, and it's happening. And if you think it's not happening, then you're stupid. And that's I think that's why the whole Drake situation is mind-boggling, because we know that you've done it.
Yeah.
So you're suing for something that you've done. It's very obvious that you've done it on more than one occasion, and now you want to sue because allegedly somebody else did it.
Yeah, he's playing both sides. It's stupid. It's silly.
It's like he knows he's going to have to expose himself as well. And that's why he looks so corny right now. But we're talking about the Gunna and Young Thug conversation.
But then, like, the Weeknd, you don't think his people went out and spent some money on bot farms or whatever? Because you have to have a certain amount of people who are actually interested. I think that's part of where the money gets spent. They're like, oh, we might be able to have a number one. We just have to push it over. We'll spend another $50,000 with the initial interest that's already there.
Listen, we were seeing this in real time during the blog era.
Yeah, for sure.
Artists were using bots and plays and things of that nature in their favor, and it worked for some of them. Some of them it was frowned upon because, like, we didn't like that shit. We could kind of see,
you could always tell,
engage what was going on. Some people were able to, wiggle their way out and be successful, and some people fell to the wayside. So, like, this is not a new model, so to speak. It's been going on.
So, Lone, do you have anything to add, or Spoolz, about just the concept of this paying for streams? Terry brought up Drake, and I saw certain things that mentioned Drake, I guess, being somewhat, I don't want to use the wrong word, but I'm going to throw this out there, vindicated in his lawsuits.
Because of this conversation?
Yes.
No.
How do you gentlemen feel about that? Lone, I'm coming to you. Does this make him look better, or is this par for the course? To Terry's point,
I think they're two separate things.
okay,
Right? Like, to some degree, I do think that Drake has some merit against UMG.
okay,
UMG is doing what UMG has always done. They're probably guilty. Drake is also Drake. Those are two separate things. It just happens to be what it is. Do I think so? Yeah, I think Drake probably does have some validity there in reference to them. And then again, the lawsuit is more so about them pushing Kendrick more than Drake.
yeah.
I don't.
Now that's the part that makes it super corny.
Who cares? Like,
that
like
makes it super corny.
What are we arguing over?
I didn't
Like,
get all the attention, so
Yeah, I don't.
For the first time in
Thank
10
you.
years.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
you guys like him more than you like
also
me.
I hate awards shows, but I better win all of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm
I mean,
sorry.
they're so corny and lame, but if I don't win them, I'm gonna get mad.
George
So-
Washington Duke from Rocky 5. Touch me and I'll sue.
Touch me now, Sue.
Yeah, that's Drake. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Wow, that's quite the reference.
It is.
Yeah. So I think I don't know, man. I would be lying if I didn't think that there was some validity to the area of botting. You know, we're in this dead internet theory right now where who knows what's real and what's not anymore,
Yeah.
and who knows what's
Yeah.
going to be real and what's not in the near future, especially with Meta saying that, you know, we're gonna create AI and bots to engage with your content. That way you can feel like you actually have engagement when you don't.
Look, the thing
What are we doing, right?
And that,
So-
that concept that you just said is going to create a lot of monsters.
So-
I'm sorry,
I hate
go
it
back, go
here
ahead.
sometimes.
No, for sure. So
That's
with
just-
that,
it's crazy.
so with that being said, yeah, I think there's a little bit of merit there. But to your previous question on a previous topic about, you know, the messenger, like Drake's
Yeah.
not the messenger for this.
Mhm.
You know, like he's literally part of the problem. So what are we doing?
I
He's
respect it.
profited off of it.
Jump in, Spoolz. I hate to get
dude.
to you last, bro.
No,
But
you're fine. I don't care, man.
I know you
It's-
don't, but I want to
This
at
is
least
it's
give
so
you.
strange. It's weird to me. Do I think like with Young Thug and Gunna? Yeah, it sounds like he probably did. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I find it. I'll say this: when people's judgments of music are pretty much solely based on how many units they sell or how many streams they got, doesn't all this like muddy that whole water? I mean, like in
Yeah.
academics or someone like that who only goes off of sales and streams and this person's better than this person because they sold, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that to me makes them all the more lame for not, you know, like,
Yeah. We value convenience, and we value all numbers over the art itself. And that plays into all this
well,
as
it's
well.
easier that way. Then you don't have to actually have a musical opinion and
Yeah.
you know, well, he sold more, so he's better.
Yep.
You know, it's
Somebody else can tell you.
but what if they weren't real? You know, and that's the funny part.
Man,
And that's
He's
why
all right, but he's not real.
Mhm.
It's crazy that Jay-Z has so many lines. I know you don't really rock with Jay like that, but he has so many lines that are
You can
that
apply
are
them.
so applicable to what's
There
going
it
on.
is.
It's like riding a bike and sticking the stick in the spokes.
Well, I mean, but you know, we're just talking about, we like to talk on the show about the updated kid.
Yeah.
And now, you know, streaming farms or whatever, or buying bots, that's just the updated, okay, we're going to go to the radio station and we're going to do a weekend flyaway for this particular artist and their
Yeah.
song, and it's going
Yeah.
to get added to the playlist automatically, and then the BDS goes up and that pushes up the chart positions.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and set this amount of CDs aside for record stores, and they're going to scan them, and they're going to and you can give these CDs out to your friends. Like, there's always been a certain level of manipulation,
Yeah.
especially for artists who they need the prestige of having a number one song or number one album. A lot of these
Absolutely.
things they do, it makes you feel like, damn, did anything happen organically ever? And a lot of times it does. Like, look, when you
Michael
look at
Jackson.
when you look at yes,
Tough.
when you, but you know what really happened organically, like when Smells Like Teen Spirit came along, and
Yeah.
everybody, that became the number one song and knocked Michael Jackson out. And then, like, when you look at the Billboard charts, and like I said, this is a sick perception I have just because of, you know, what I've done in my life, you know, and I can look at, like, you know, Shabuzi's song Tipsy, or no, it's not Tipsy, but whatever the name of the song.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody know what you're talking about.
yeah, that song is still in the top 20 because people like it that much.
Yeah.
You know, the Teddy Swim song, Lose Control.
Mhm.
You know, that song has been out for like almost 2 years and it's
Yeah.
still in the top 10
Yes.
because people actually like it. You can't, that's what you can't buy.
You can't fabricate
You
that.
can't fabricate. Now, you can have, you know, a Drake song come out and we all have to listen to it and talk about it. Same, you know.
Is this going to
And
be
then-
his number one that beats Mike? I hate having to even say that.
It's like
That
when
part.
it's like when they say, Nicki Minaj has more chart entries than Aretha Franklin. Please shut the up when you say things like that.
Well, she's
My man,
never
thank you
won a
for
Grammy.
saying that.
But it's because
Please and
like
thank you.
everybody, because as soon as now something comes out, the whole album winds up charting in the top 100,
Yeah,
and then like
different metrics.
three or four weeks later, all those songs fall off, except maybe the one someone might kind of like. So when we talk about chart manipulation, all it is this is the updated kit. We're not seeing anything that we have not seen since Alan Freed, and they had the payola thing that happened with rock and roll back in the 1950s and 60s.
Come on, man. Pimping ain't dead.
Yeah, man.
Pimpin' ain't
People
dead.
should read
It
about
just
that. It's
moves to the
super
web.
interesting.
Yeah.
It is very, very
And plus,
interesting.
like, I was when even if you have a little weekend show or overnight show, they're like, don't take any money.
Come
We'll
on,
find
man.
out.
This shit's been going on, man. It's just different.
I wish I'd took some money. I never took any money.
Different
from
day and time.
All right, man. Well,
What's the second part of this?
that's it. Like we've covered both in the midst of our conversation with the
I
Drake
do want
picture.
to. So I don't know if y'all have listened to any of these phone calls. It's crazy. So, Young Thug actually went on to say on one of these phone calls as well that in order for Kendrick to be a superstar, he's gonna have to get Moneybagg Yo on a song. This
Wow.
is an actual conversation.
But this is before
your
everything.
God, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. They love
when
him.
was this?
When
When he
what's
was
his-
locked up. So he was locked up for what, like 2.5 years?
How long ago was this?
Before GNX came out.
Before
the
probably
beef.
before the whole little beef, I guess. I don't know.
22, 23-ish. Some probably if I was
I don't
taking
know,
guess.
but yeah, I just thought a lot of this talk is interesting.
It's hilarious.
Whoever's leaking all this shit had a pretty nice payday as well.
Shot Fulton
Somebody
County
got
Jail.
yeah, somebody got some bread for leaking this. 'cause
Yeah.
This is like
Somebody got some bread.
I had, I teach, right? And so I'm in a unique position on a regular basis to work with young aspiring music producers and musicians that are trying to navigate this new world that we're in music. And I don't know how often I have to have the conversation around to try to steer them away from looking at like Spotify numbers and
Yeah.
plays as
Yeah.
like a success. And even today I had the conversation with one of the youngsters, super talented. I was like, how is your project doing? And I asked him the question. He's like, well, it's doing this. I was like, and it got along to the conversation of like, I showed him the pyramid. And if some of y'all know what I'm talking about, some of y'all don't, because I talk about it a lot. But like, at the very top of the pyramid is like, it's the For You page. It's like scrolling and somebody sees your stuff, right?
That part.
And I said, what is more important to you? If 5 million people see your things or 500 people like
Engage.
go and buy,
Yeah.
engage, purchase something for you?
Engage. Yeah.
And, he sat and thought about it for a second. He says, well, probably to 500. I was like, yeah, because those other people don't care about you. They're just scrolling. Right. And it goes into this conversation that we're having here where how we're constantly, this is something that I have to combat on a daily basis with young kids and young music producers in a world where we don't value art. Like we value convenience. And it's way beyond just music, but it's a very hard, everybody is just trained and just from a very young age to like numbers are so important, stream numbers are so important, and it's all capitalism.
Yeah.
And it's all bad. That's where I'm gonna put but yeah.
Bro, it's so crazy. And I'll end it here, but I was at my family reunion this weekend and I have little cousins, the same little cousins that I told about our podcast that have checked us out, right? The same cousin said, I saw you with that plaque, cuz. And I changed from, I'm trying to give me an example of somebody that can elevate or grow or change. It's like Optimus Prime transforming, right? It's like I was completely different when they saw the plaque and they saw Lone. They saw us promoting the plaque. Cuz I didn't even know it was like that. I'm like, yeah, but we were doing really good before you saw that plaque. And if you did your research, you'd see this, and this. Oh man, you got 100. To your point, everybody sees that, and it's just, that's the goal. Instant gratification. Whatever the internet says, that's it. And I'm like,
The
nah.
same
fam.
way with music as a whole.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Regardless of how good the music is,
Yeah.
if a certain number of people don't say that it's good or co-sign it to say that it's good, then it's just okay.
Doesn't matter.
Until one person in that group of people be like, nah, this is lit. Then all of a sudden, yeah, this is lit.
Through the moon.
You know what I'm saying?
Through the roof.
It's just weird out here. It's just what
It's weird.
I want to add this just real quick before we wrap. There's a great episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I used to reference it a lot when I was on the show. And but one of the main characters, they do like this art show, and they try to show that anybody can make art, and it doesn't really matter where it comes, you know. And anyway, so at the end, the guy's he's going on his little diatribe, and he's like talking to everybody, and he goes, "Is art good just because certain people say so?" And he goes, "Yeah." That's exactly what's going on here. Like, come on, what do you think is happening? So I always thought that was funny.
Yeah. I just kind of distinguish it about, it's all about if they care about it or not. Like, do you care about the art or do you care about the money?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really all it comes down to. Like, cause if you care about the art and you make money, that's awesome.
NewOldEdge.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Don't forget, any 5-star rating is appreciated. And also check out our Patreon where you can get our full unedited episodes. We appreciate your support. Shout out to my homie Spoolz for jumping in on this episode. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.
Yeah, in a minute.